Welcome back to the Virgo channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to my channel, I'm going to do a general message for Virgo. Know that energy is fluid, roles can be reversed. Just interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also know on this channel and all my channels, I like to dive deep within the reading. So I look at everything, but we do take time to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, to see how they play out as karmic themes, to help you understand why everything's playing out the way that it is, and then why you're attracting that person into your life and what you need to do to actually alchemize that negative energy. So the reading has a therapy style to it. Again, not just what your person did do, what they're going to do, but you know, you're the alchemist of your life. So the channel's about helping you heal the effects of trauma, and that's by recognizing karmic patterns, the karmic patterns that continue to show up in your life that make you perceive that there's something wrong with you, that make you feel as if you can't manifest the life and the life experiences that you want to have. And when we're talking about that, we're usually talking about finances and we're talking about relationships, right? So if we don't love ourselves fully, we're going to see we're going to see that show up within our outer world experiences. And again, those karmic themes that play out are designed to trigger you, to help you to look and see how are you contributing to the imbalances within your situation and what can you do to shape shift the energy. Again, you're the alchemist of your life. And the reason why I decided to have channels like this is because I had a lot of spiritual blockages. I grew up in a family that was very spiritually imbalanced. My dad had cancer 8 times towards the end, more like 10 or 12. He had upper and lower back surgery, 2 hip replacements. They wanted to do neck surgery on him, and he was a brilliant man. He skipped grades in school, but he was an alcoholic and that was married to a narcissist. He didn't love himself. So it didn't matter how brilliant he was. And my mom, who was loved and adored by everyone, was a tyrant at home. She was a narcissist. And that was mainly because she grew up in a family where my grandfather came home from World War II. She was 4. He had rage. He saw things that, we shouldn't have to see in life, such as death. He was made to kill people. Again, when they put you in war, that's what it is. And that trauma, in order to deal with it, he drank. So when people drink, what they're doing is they're suppressing that rage. They're suppressing that anger. So my father manifested a life that reflected what was going on inside of him. And so did my mother. And like goes to like. So spiritually sick is what I grew up in. And it wasn't because my father wasn't nice and my mother wasn't nice. They were nice people. There was no talk about spiritual issues and how the shadow or parts of ourselves that become fragmented and we detach and disassociate from those aspects of self, which really then play out, like I said, as these negative karmic consequences. And I'm going to say it like that because they're wind up as trauma bonds, consequences. Um, and if you grow up in a family like that, unless you heal the effects of that trauma, you're going to repeat those ancestral karmic cycles. And that's just because we are creatures of our environment, right? Because it's our environment that creates our reality by making us perceive certain things about ourselves and the world around us. So if you were the black sheep of your family, well, then you need healing because the way that you perceive yourself probably isn't going to be in alignment with who you truly are because your survival at one point was reliant on you walking from that level of consciousness. Remember, people don't like it when you trigger them to have to look at something differently. People don't like it when they have to question their reality. And people, again, the same way that you create shadows, well, people create facades and illusions to make themselves look better. So again, if you're the black sheep and you're the one that's continually pointing out, or your life is a representation of the fragmentation of what's going on, well, you're going to be bullied. You're going to be the black sheep is someone that isn't treated very well. It's the one that, it gets overlooked, but if there's a problem, it was created by that person. When really the black sheep is usually the most honest, because everybody else is wearing the mask to create the illusion. So we always want to do healing because you're the alchemist of your life, which means that you can heal your life. You can heal your life, but we have to do a few things. And we have to get a better connection to ourself and to the higher self. And the higher self is the God part of self. And if we don't have a connection to that part of self, then what happens is we're listening to our emotions more than we're listening to that intuition. Problem is that the emotions tends to listen to the ego more than it actually listens to the higher self, right? So we always want to come from a good place of discernment. All right, let's jump in. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you guys see, you're not going to be able to see my green ones. These are jade, and they are so pretty. So when I do my live stream, you'll see them. I'm wearing the abundance pack because I'm trying to pull in abundance. I got taxes, house taxes, like everything is expensive. So I'm trying to manifest more abundance, more financial stability, more. And so these bracelets are supposed to help you do that. And I think it's because, hey, what we have here is citrine. Citrine works with the solar plexus. Um, Jade works with the heart chakra. So again, about giving and receiving of love through your free will. You have to have an open heart. If you have spiritual blockages of hate, resentment, anger, it's going to be very difficult for you to be able to manifest. So the heart chakra, citrine is again about the solar plexus. Only in now do you get divine guidance through gut, intuition, inner knowing. We have to again trust within ourselves. Then we have this pyrite, two pyrites, fool's gold, was the word that I was looking for, even though I know it's pyrite, which is, it looks like it looks like gold, but it's not. And so it's a grounding stone. It's a, it's a protection stone, one that makes you own your power. Again, when you own your power, it means that any person that comes in your way is going to feel that. It means that you have good boundaries because you have a good sense of self, right? So protection. And we have tiger's eye, which is another grounding one. I love tiger's eye. Very strong protective stone. So these are the abundance. I think I got 3 packs, literally. Anything that had to do with abundance, prosperity, money, good wishes is what I wanted to like focus on for the channel for these bracelets for Christmas. So they make great gifts. I also have my other bracelets here too, which they're nice, but like I said, I'm moving into like the abundance. Where before I was loving like the third eye and the crown chakra, and again more protection. So all different kinds of bracelets. If you check out Otter Spirit, you guys get 15% off. Friday sale. However, I'm putting up the link today, even though it's not the day after Thanksgiving, so that you guys can go Christmas shopping. I love these bracelets, and I will put up a video. I'll put one up in the shorts, and I'm going to try and put one up before the video or maybe after the video so you guys can actually see what the bracelets look like, because I know because of my green screen it's going to be difficult. But I love this company because 15% goes to saving the otter's habitat. They got the otters out of extinction and distinction. Listen to me, extinction, which I think is amazing. Too many animals are not even on the planet from when I was a kid. And that's really sad. We're not leaving the planet in good, like good for our ancestors. They're not going to benefit from seeing and knowing and really experiencing these animals. Like, I mean, if you go travel, you're not going to see them. You might not see them every day, but I don't know. It's like everything's connected and people don't realize that. It's like what you do spiritually. Are you in alignment with the laws of God, the laws of love, the laws of natures, and the laws of the universe? If you notice, I said the laws of nature. Well, they're all the same thing because God made the universe with its energy. So everything has to be in alignment with love. But when greed takes over, and greed is anything greed, vanity. Even remember back in the 80s with the Aquanet that ruined the ozone, with the rainforest, which we cared more about whether our hair was big enough than the animals on the planet. We didn't think about it. And the reason why is because our society doesn't teach that. So there's a lack of empathy and sensitivity. If you're not seeing an animal every day, you're not thinking about it unless you're hyper aware of that. It's the same thing with plants. It's like we're all in alignment and we all need to be respectful, but having shadows and spiritual blockages, well, we're going to see more greed. We're going to see more shame. We're going to see more victimization. All these energies that take us out of our true power, and our true power is that supernatural power of unconditional love, which is the energy of God, which is the energy of the universe. And we actually, when we're clear, a clear vessel, we're able to make that energy work through us. We become supernatural. People are like, wow. How'd that happen? Well, if you do something often enough, right? Every single day, every single day, every single day, every single day, every single day. Well, look at an Olympic player. They didn't start that excellent, winning a gold medal. There was many falls. It was a lot of anxiety. It was a lot of second guessing. It was a lot of faith walking. Well, that's for all of us. But when you have faith, faith is a bridge that connects you to what we sow to what we reap. And karma is what we reap. So remember, it's what you do. It's not what happens to you, it's what you do. And remember, what happens to you is a reflection of what's going on inside. That's where the saying from within is without and as above is below, and that's Wiccan, where Wiccans believe in nature. Nature is again created by God, so they believe in God and they believe in nature. They just believe it in a different form. Um, where I don't I believe in Jesus. I believe in God. But, all paths will, pretty much get you to a place of unconditional love because that's what they all teach is unconditional love. No one teaches hate unless like the scripture was, like, somebody tampered with it, obviously. Didn't know what to say there. And I believe that man-made scripture has been tampered with. So I don't really believe in dogmatic practice, but that's me. You do you, boo. I mean, my thing is I believe in embodying that consciousness of unconditional love. It's to embody the character of Jesus. It's to embody that energy of love, to give and receive of love. It's to be able to hone in on that power. The underlining energy, however, of this video is going to be overstimulated. Overstimulation is too much thinking. Too much thought creates too much emotion, creates overstimulation. So someone is in fight, flight, freeze. Someone is overthinking. Let me see. And I kind of feel like when we always asking pretty much about your relationship in the beginning. We're always asking about your finances in the beginning. And we have to say, you're a magnet of whom what comes into your life. So you may not be toxic, but you may have spiritual blockages within your finances. So I feel like you're overstimulated by like your finances and trying to create something and not seeing it come into fruition. And that's overstimulating you, and you're connected to a person that doesn't feel your energy anymore, and they're overstimulated. So I feel like when people are overstimulating, they're stuck in stupid, and it's because of fear. Oh, our brain is not designed to be logical in those times. It's made to survive. The reptilian mind's all about the survival mind. It doesn't care about our emotions, our physical welfare. It all sees it as the same. So I feel like you're not even thinking about this person. And and the person is sitting there and they don't really know how to approach you either. Because again, I feel like they know that they sabotage the connection. I feel like with you, when it comes to your finances, it's like I have asked, I have created, I have like done, but I'm not seeing the fruits of my labor. And so the pride is kind of like that. It's like your pride. It's hurting because you're judging yourself and you're judging your process. And that's the thing. So you don't have the same energy as this person that's overstimulated, but your survival mechanism is to become overstimulated. Like because you begin to think, and look for the answer. So you would actually need the citrine bracelet because only in the now do you get divine guidance, right? When we overthink, we're going to react from our emotions more than we're going to react from what's really happening. And that's the same thing with your person. But the problem is that person that's connected to you, or we'll call them your person, is not acting because of pride. I don't want to really come back and apologize. I don't really know what to say. I feel like a dumbass. Like there's all that. So, and it's guilt. Guilt because, hey, you were a twin flame. And so really they're insecure because, hey, they abandoned you, but now they're afraid that you're going to abandon them. Because again, they didn't want to hear the criticism and they know that you're disgusted, and they completely ruin the relationship from it where you don't trust them anymore. So I feel like this person is like on like high mode, like overthinking, just ruminating, not going to sleep at night, just trying to like figure out what they can do because they don't feel your energy anymore. And they don't feel your energy anymore because they are assuming that you're with someone else. But meanwhile, I feel like you're just really like in your business trying to like pour into yourself, and this person is realizing that they need you like a heart needs a beat. Like, and that the thing is that this person needs to clear their energy field and focus on themselves before acting. And that's the thing. What I said is the overstimulation. It's like the fact that they have fear of abandonment, as we saw, and they can feel that you're disgusted, you cut your energy off. Well, now this person is seeing oh, well, you're my person, and I need you, and you triggered their abandonment. But the thing is, they're going to act from that place because what happens is it's about like the serotonin. It's like this person doesn't feel good about themselves. They're in a place of guilt. They don't want to be in a place of guilt. They think you're with someone else. They think something's happening for you. They don't know what's going on with you, and that's bothering them because it's like they're assuming the worst. Like either you're talking to someone or your career's taking off, you're leaving them behind. They don't feel you. So they're again realizing who you are. They're going to react, but it's not because they've really said, "Hey, this is the plan." They're not going to, they have no plan. They're going to come in and they want passion because it's getting that serotonin up. It's a escapism. And that's the thing because this person can't stop thinking about you. But the problem is that you just feel like you clash with this person now because your idea of what love and intimacy are and what this person's idea of love and intimacy are two different things. This person doesn't show up. They don't show up for you, and that thing is, this person is like, please don't be angry with me forever because they already know that you're like, you don't show up. You don't show up. And the reason why is because this person down deep inside, they feel like they're not good enough for you. So they're really hoping that you're going to take them back and that you don't see them the same way. And they're nervous and they're prideful. So they don't really want to come to you. They don't really know what to do. They're getting overstimulated. The more that they think about it, the more that they think about it. So, and that's the thing. This person is acting like, they never knew the meaning of love until this situation. And that's the thing where you're like, well, now they're going to come in and they're going to like apologize. But the truth of the matter is, it's like you walked away. And I feel like you're like, I already see you for who you are. You clash with me. So you change directions. And in the changing of directions, you're trying to like create something on your own, which is why I believe that you're overstimulated because you're like, well, I don't want this person to come back. And they don't really have anything for your pride. So again, this person in your life is to teach you a spiritual lesson. And I feel like it was so to get your shit together, because, and that's the thing, it's bringing out the fact that, hey, on some level, I feel like you thought that you were going to do something with this person, that they were going to help you, that they were going to act like a partner to you. And they didn't act like that, where it's again, where this person can't go to you. They can't go to you. You need to go to them. And you're like, I'm not going to go to you because I feel like you are working on something. You're just not seeing the full fruits of it yet. So this overstimulation where this person is hoping that you're not able to like really create what it is that you're trying to create so that you actually need them. And so that's the thing because this person is jealous and possessive. So there's a part of you that's like, well, I'm not even going to choose you. And that's the thing. It's like this person is hoping that you'll like maybe at one time, like I said, you really thought that you were going to do something with this person or that they were going to be your partner and maybe they're really good in business and that they were going to help where that's what this person was banking on. And but the bottom line is that you're seeing this person for like who they are, and this person's like, the day that I've let you go was the hardest day of my life. That's what they're going to say because it's difficult for them to process their emotions and how you just feel. You're like, I don't really want this. I feel like destiny is taking us down two different paths because this person, it knows that they are emotionally unavailable. It's like they can't really give you what you need. They play dumb to try to keep you confused too much. So there's a sense of, I don't trust you. I don't trust you. You see what I have going on and you see how you could benefit from it. So, and that's the thing. It's like, and so you don't trust them. So you don't see this person the same at all. And understand you might not have thought that they would try and sabotage your career or like try and take anything from you before, but because how they treated you so bad and they, didn't give you an apology, now it's like they feel like the apology coming back is a trump card. Like, oh, I'm going to come back and apologize. Like, that's enough. And understanding this person was only fooling themselves by thinking that they could forget you because this was a strong connection. But they didn't want to grow, and growth was essential. Their ego was too big to care for too long, and it still they'll only be able to care about you so much. So you'll never really be fulfilled in this relationship. This person regrets lying to you because they're seeing that it's going to be really difficult to come back into your life, that you're not interested. It's almost like they feel miserable and lost. They see this person's not in a good place. I feel like they just expected you. So, you know, they pushed you away because they don't want the responsibility. And that's the issue. It's like they want to come back into your life, but I believe that they want to come back into your life because they don't know what's going on. But they remember at one time that maybe you guys were planning on being together and you were working on something then, and that they would be able to help you with it because they were like a business person. Now they see it's growing and they're like, oh, well, let me kind of slip back in. And you're like, I don't want this. I don't want this. And that's the thing. So we have to say, well, why did this person do what they did? I want to know why they did what they did because it doesn't, it's like we saw how they feel that that they completely broke it. I feel like that this person, like, how did they ruin the connection? We look and we see sexual fulfillment. Okay, so this person, like, I feel like they cheated a lot. I feel like they have intimacy problems. It was all about the sexual pleasure, that they had a love affair or they slept around, and that's what it looks like to me. That this person, they didn't give you the romance and the love, but they're running around giving other people the love and the romance, right? And so and so the thing is, it's because you said something to them and they saw it as you like it wasn't again what they did, it was what you said. The focus became on what they said. So it wasn't the fact that they weren't giving you time and that they were giving love and romance and taking other people out to get sex from those people, because those people did not stay in this person's life, so they were just a player. It was more or less like they were acted arrogant towards you. They didn't want to hear it. You were dead on about what you said. This person wanted you to fight for the relationship, so they created a very intense type of, you know, environment. And they wanted to be superior to you. They wanted to be, and the thing is, you were very accurate, and you told them it was again, very, very, very vocal about it to the point that it was like became a very heated argument, right? And this person is blocked. And they created too many barriers. So what they did was they tried to force your hand by running around with different people, and now that what they're seeing is they're not happy. They're not happy with the decisions that they make, and you let go, and they're like, what's going on in your life? They don't know. So they want to come back and they want to make it like they're going to help you, like I said, refine, right? Going to help, like almost like reproduction, like whatever you're doing, they think that they're gonna come in and fix it, make it more, and they know that it's a toin cost, but they're willing to make that because they see you coming into fortune. They see it. And that's the thing. This person doesn't want to be left behind. They feel like it's time now to take action. They know that is going to be a problem, but they have a 50-50 chance because they don't know what's happening. So this is where they're at. That's what they did. That's why they did it. So stupid, again, and I believe it's because you took your power back. It's like they don't know, they see that things are going on, but they don't really know who you are anymore. Like, I feel like this person wasted a lot of time saying, like, you're going to come back to me. And now it's like what they see is you're not coming back to them. So they're getting overstimulated because what they see is that's not happening. So they're going to come in with an apology, but the apology is bullshit. The apology is bullshit. You have past lives together. This person still hasn't figured it out in this life. They 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 question the relationship. They get triggered by the relationship and they don't surrender to it, and that's the thing. So I just feel like they'll say that there's no such thing as perfect. So even though you're as perfect as it can be, they don't really believe that it can be this good of a relationship because this person has gotten tricked before. And I don't think that they've gotten tricked before. They come in, it's all about the sexual fulfillment, it's all about them, the ecstasy for them, the serotonin hit. And then what happens is people say something, expect them to hold to a standard, and then they don't want to do it. And so what they do is they throw a temper tantrum and they run to somebody else and trying to scare you, hoping that you're going to fight for them. That didn't happen. They're turning around, they're seeing, oh, you disconnected. They didn't think you were going to disconnect. And what they see is they don't like their choices. They can't go back to any of those people that they screwed over either because they weren't giving those people anything. And they don't even want to because those people weren't even good options in their mind. You're doing something. There's energy there. And they're like, well, I still have that opportunity, maybe, but then they know that they're not good enough for a real relationship. So it's like this person is just plain out selfish, and you see through it, and they know it. It's like their mask fell off, and they know it. And so I feel like if anything, they're angry that they're like, again, they want to come in and they either want to be a part of your situation or they want to ruin your situation because that's how this person's energy is. Either you're going to let me in or I'm going to create a lot of drama and just craziness, try and keep you up in your head. And the thing is, emotionally, you let go. So they have no power. And that's what they're seeing. So you have to say, why would you attract a person like this into your life? You're a mirror of whom, what comes into your life. So we put 6, abuse. That's why. Abuse. And look how strong you are. And you were strong in this relationship too. And Spirit says, because it was chaotic the way that you grew up. Yeah, you had food on the table. It's not like you didn't have food on the table and a bed to sleep in and a house. Like the basic necessities were there, but the abuse is psychological, it's emotional, and here it represents even physical energy. So we have to say, why would that be? Well, what we see here is no time and attention. We see our trauma. We see sing. And look at this, cleansing. That's a different card that we normally don't get. So shows me here that you are always able to clear your own energy, because you are someone that is very resilient. I feel like, the thing is that you didn't get the time and attention and the nurturing, and because you grew up in an environment that it did show abuse, right? When a child grows up in abuse, they're not going out and playing. They're not going out and finding themselves. They're not grounded. They're going to live more safe. Children are sensitive. So remember in the Bible, it says, be like childlike because children go out and play. And what they don't really know what the day is going to bring. What they say is, oh, I'm going to call for my friend and I'm going to get on my bicycle and I'm going to ride to my friend's house. What happens on the way to meeting their friend, who knows? And who knows what happens when they call their friend comes out. If they ride their bicycle, they don't really know where they're going. They don't know who they're going to meet. They don't know how that day is going to unfold, but they're open to it, right? They're not afraid. They're not like, "Ooh, I'm afraid to get on my bicycle because, hey, um, I might go somewhere that where I get hurt." Child's not even thinking that. They're naive, right? Unless they grow up in an environment that there was abuse, then the child's not going to be as open or as free. And if they did grow up where they happen to be more open and free, they're usually the one that the friends get to do crazy things like, hey, why don't we light that piece of paper on fire and see what happens? Why don't we throw some garbage in this person's backyard and see what happens? Like they're mischievous because hey, they weren't really allowed to go out, so they become rebellious, right? So it's like, oh, you never get out, so the parent becomes even more stricter. So it becomes almost like a little tug of war with the child and the parent, where that's not what happened here. What happened here is I feel like you live safe. You were taught not to be able to speak, not to be able to use your voice, to suppress, and no time and attention was not put towards creating yourself. And it's because the environment was chaotic. And so I believe your parent was either super angry all the time because they had to work, they didn't like their job, their marriage, they weren't getting emotionally what they needed health wise, they weren't really taking care of themselves. So their moods were up and down. So it was chaotic. And the thing is, it was how you perceived like how safe you were. Remember, if a parent is angry all the time, a child's going to be afraid to approach that parent. They're going to take it like you're mad at me all the time, and then they see things as they are eventually. So if they're around a toxic parent that's angry all the time, that's yelling at them all the time, that it's their fault for everything all the time, just because that parent doesn't want to take the responsibility and actually do the healing work that they need, well, guess what? It's like now that child is walking around with the ancestral karma because that parent didn't just become that way. They grew up usually in a toxic environment and formed the same habits, the same behaviorisms. And so what happens is that that you don't have that support. And when we don't have support, we're not going to be fully rooted in our body. We're not going to trust. We're not going to, we begin to, again, to look at the world through a distorted lens because our perception of life is what has happened to us, not really what life is or what life is supposed to be, right? If you're in an environment that's toxic, you're going to form habits and behaviorisms that are in alignment with that environment. So you have to recondition yourself. You need to heal yourself. And I believe you didn't heal yourself all the way. So what happened is that this person that's on a very low vibration came into your life because of this energy. So the patterns that come from abuse, you're going to see overgiving, you're going to see overforgiving, you're going to tolerate a lot more and you're not going to recognize the abuse. And the abuse will come in the way that that person talks to you, the way that that person values your time, whether they value your feelings. So if we grew up in abuse where a parent was so angry that they weren't taking care of themselves properly, and that was our role model, well, guess what? We're going to repeat all those habits, all those behaviorisms, and that's the problem. So we need to get rooted in something, right? So Father up in heaven is what we can become rooted in, right? That spirit, that God part of self is what we need to be rooted in because, hey, our Father might not have been available. or that father might have been, hey, detached or disassociated or too caught up in their toxic relationship or working all the time. So again, that the fact that we feel that we didn't have that support is what that karmic theme will be. And and it happens for all different reasons. Like I said, when a person has it, it's like in this, it's trauma, and the trauma made this person feel inadequate, so they don't have regular relationships. They have karmic contracts. That's what they do, which means, attachment style. You're going to relive the experience that you grew up in, which is you feel undervalued, you feel not good enough, and you're with somebody that is acting superior. And that's the dynamic that you grew up in. So again, you don't want to grow up in the same, you don't want to live the rest of your life like the same way that you have lived because it didn't bring you joy. But understand there's a karmic test, and that's what Spirit said. Well, it's a karmic test. You have the opportunity to break that karmic cycle, or you will re-enter the karmic cycle, which is just going back into the same experience with same karmic theme. So an example would be being with a narcissist, like you're choosing to be with a narcissist, or like not knowing that you're with a narcissist and it doesn't work out. And then you wind up getting into another relationship and it's another narcissist. And then you don't date for like 5 years, 10 years. You're like, I'm not going to date. And then someone comes along and it's another narcissist. So what happens is that you begin to believe, I can only date narcissists. That's the only person that comes to me. Well, it's that you haven't learned the spiritual lesson. And unfortunately, the karmic consequences for that become 1,000 times worse because and what we resist persists, and you get the spiritual lesson over and over and over again, because the whole point of why we're down here in physical form is to learn that there's no separation from us and our creator, right? Us and the universe, from us and from you and me, like you and me, like we're related. No, but we're connected through spirit. We're connected through love, through, and when a person resonates with who you are because they've gone through similar experiences, right? Then we really then can vibe with a person. We feel like we're in alignment with that person, right? So I'm trying to get my other words out. All right. So then we have to say, I've been picking from a few different to end my readings. So we look at the inner child wounds, but then we have to see, how are we going to transmute this negative energy? How are we going to alchemize this negative energy? Like, because you're the alchemist of your life, you can't get rid of negative energy unless you transform it. That's the law of spirit. If you take something, you have to, but it again, it has to be replaced with something. Like there's consequences. And sometimes they're not negative consequences, but they're, let's face it, there's consequences. All right. So let's see what Spirit wants you to do. Look, you're the alchemist of your life. You're the alchemist. You had to go through this situation, and it was all about flowing with grace. You have to go with the flow of life, and that's not by changing the environment. Sometimes we have to deal with difficult people. It's not everyone's gonna like you. You're not $100 bill, unfortunately. So we have to go with the flow of life, and that's through the passion for life. But Spirit says it's easier when you, first of all, go into uncharted waters, evoke your curiosity, because understand part of you connected to this person because, hey, there's what experiences have you lived? If you lived very safe, then that trauma is still there. We're not supposed to live so safe. You know what I mean? We have to live relaxed, and then when situations arise, we have to be able to act with discernment in the moment. However, people that have gone through trauma, they tend to look for it and then they react. Bad thing. That's exactly how we recreate the same undesirable life experiences because remember, it's not what happens a lot of times, it's how you're perceiving what happens. We see what we look for. So let's just say friends always get together and every now and again they don't invite you. Do you say, oh, I have no friends? You know what I mean? Because maybe one time you were excluded. I mean, that's an example. It could be any type of experience that makes you feel separate. And that could be separate from who you're dealing with in your environment. Again, when we have an open heart, we're able to go with the flow of life, right? We can see things for truly what they are because we're acting from discernment. We're not, again, perceiving what we're afraid that something is. We don't want to do that. And Spirit says, so by going out and invoking your curiosity, you find new aspects of life, but not just life, but yourself. You get to see yourself differently. So Spirit says, please take that leap of faith. Take a bold step, even if the path is not visible. The risks are going to be rewarding because you're going to meet new people, new situations. Maybe those people or that person, again, that is not your person. They came in to teach you a lesson. The people do that. And sometimes we pay money. I feel like I paid $1,100 to belong to a group that 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 I feel like why am I here? Most of the time because people don't really understand what I do. But it's also teaching me, well, how am I representing myself? You know, I mean, I think a lot of times the unfoldment process when you're self-taught, we're just coming from our heart and it's our level of consciousness, what we live through. It's like what has affected us. So people can't see the whole picture, and I don't believe that it's one way or the other. I believe that sometimes it's both. But if you take a leap of faith, you'll meet different people and situations and experiences that you're always going to learn from, you're always going to grow from. They're always going to push you to, make you better, even if that's not their intention. That's the crazy part of it. So Spirit says, take the leap of faith. You're protected. You are protected. Spirit says, no, again, use your voice, acknowledge what you have already overcome, go with it, conviction, be strong. Again, use your voice to ask for what you need to and direct your life. You weren't allowed to speak growing up, so part of reparenting is you have to be the parent for that child's self and speak up. And that sometimes means setting boundaries. Setting boundaries. You have to teach a person how you want to be treated. You can't just assume because people won't do the right thing. But Spirit says you're in alignment. Again, the limitless potential. This is what this person sees. That, hey, you're going to step into some energy, then do some great things. And this person is like, oh, I want to be a part of that. It's like, yeah, now, but they didn't contribute to any of it. And if anything, once they would get in, they would again, I'm going to refine it. I'm going to do this, and it wouldn't be yours anymore because that's who this person is. And that's what you know. So you're like, I don't think so. Whatever I saw before, I don't see now, which is why this person is overstimulated because, hey, the mask fell off. And we look at some more wisdom. This is what's new. And this is being honest is not always easy, but it is empowering to speak your truth. So again, you're gonna have to tell this person. And it's like because hey, they were a soul relationship. But this person, they didn't. They were not honest with you. They omitted information and manipulated. So it's uncomfortable. But this is all again about you speaking. Notice that 3 times it showed up, where maybe Spirit says your boundaries were not really that good. And it's because of the way that you grew up. And so this connection went a little bit longer than it really should have because you, again, didn't say anything. To truly honor the source of your being, live from the flow of your heart. And that means give and receive of love through your free will. It's again to honor the source. The source is God, because source is God, and that's inside of you. And how we are able to access that energy and really honor that energy is to become the energy of love. And it doesn't mean that it's an easy thing. It's hard, but Spirit says, enjoy life. Enjoy life. Now go out and go out, take a leap of faith, venture into the unknown. You're protected. Enjoy your life. It's your life. No one can take it from you. You don't have to be apologetic for it. You don't have to go where you're celebrated. That's what you need to do. Go where it's going to stimulate your mind. You'll meet people along the way, and believe me, that's how you get sharper, right? Because God brings the people, the situations, the experiences that are gonna polish you up, that's gonna refine you. This person can't doesn't even know how to refine themselves, but they're gonna tell you, oh well, because I know it all. They don't know anything. They treated you horribly. And that's really what it is. Spirit says this is about you practicing whatever it is with your craft. Again, mastery comes in doing. We're all David going up against Goliath. Understand, it seems like it's impossible. We have to be consistent. Again, lean on your friends during this time, and that's the support. And then there was one more deck that I felt like, did I pick from this deck or no? Well, no, I didn't. And this is my favorite one out of all of them. Okay. Because that was empowering and the things that you should do, the friendship and the practice. Like, that's what's going to give you balance right now. And then we leave off with being the light from within you to the surface to shine. So, like the bringing the light from within. So, that's your passion, the love that people will eventually see your truth and what it is that you're doing. You don't need this person. And understand it's that everything's happening in divine order. The universe always makes a way where there is no way just for you because it's under God's law. It's again what's going to say what this person needs to do. Leave an open door for the highest potential outcome. So don't take your first offer. Whatever it is that you're doing, there's opportunities that are going to come from your success right now. Don't take your first offer. Don't lowball yourself. That's going to be another karmic test. Especially if you were brought up where you weren't allowed to speak, use your boundaries. When unsure how to proceed, simply take each step as it's revealed. Only in the now do you get divine guidance. Spirit saying, so this is about you being grounded, you about knowing your worth and not settling for less than you deserve with this person or any other low ball opportunity. And that, use your voice, set boundaries. That's how you teach people how you want to. And it's about you eventually just being true to yourself. Like, again, don't look and see, oh, everything I've been through. It's like trying to stop me and say, everything I've been through made me stronger. Everything that I've been through has been given to me by God to make me into the best version of myself. And even though I might not like it, because it was a bumpy ride, the spirit says, well, it's not supposed to be easy. We persevere. It's all about moving into those higher levels of consciousness, and that's through moving into a place of unconditional love. And a lot of times that's not easy to do if we're not on a vibration that's high enough. So I feel like you saying goodbye to this person and not letting them come into your life is when your abundance actually comes, which is what this person is like. That's their greatest fear. That's their anxiety. That's when they know that the door is shut forever, and they won't have any part of whatever it is that you're doing or any access to you. And Spirit says, and it's happening because everything happens in divine order, and it's what's best for everyone involved. And apparently what's best for everyone involved was that this person burned down the entire forest, the home, everything, ruined the connection completely, and then your success. So they can't come back because, hey, their mask fell off, but they feel like they have a 50-50 chance. That's how cocky this person is. That's how much they normally get away with stuff. And that's why it's done the way that it's done. It's like, nope, and here's the success. F you. That's like an F you from the universe to this person. Like, how dare you? How dare you? It's like you thought you just gonna run and like treat this person that way and run to somebody else every time you don't get what you want. Oh no. And treat this person like badly and like scare them into being subservient to you. That's how cocky this person is. Like, again, that's why they're like, maybe I can still try and get back in there. It's like Spirit says, no, the divine fruit. You see, this person sees your divine fruit and they see you're working on yourself. So as you work to improve and free yourself, you strengthen your foundation. Your intellect is light, your heart is warmth, and your soul is strength. And then you are nurtured by the divine sun. The fruit that you bear reflects your inner light. And being Spirit says you're protected. To me, guardian angel really is spirit, right? God. God works through everything so that it's ubiquitous. It's ubiquitous, it's everywhere. It's omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscience. And when you're a clear foundation for that spirit to work through you and work through your environment to bring you everything what you need. When you need healing, it brings you what you need too. But again, sometimes we don't know that we need healing in that place. So we need to like spirit will put us in an environment to show us, hey, like this is a little off, or this is where you need tweaking, or this is what you need to do to, be a better version of yourself, to shape you, to mold you, because we wouldn't know any other way. And so Spirit says that, well, I know, and I know who's I'm going to bring into your life to help change. And sometimes they're going to help you in your career, and sometimes they're going to help you heal spiritually. And unfortunately, healing spiritually is that you're broken open a lot of times so that the wounds are exposed so that and it's because of what's going on in your life that you're like, oh my God, look what's going on in my life. um that we have to take notice and do something about it, or we can be stuck in fear and be overstimulated, which just means that you're stuck and stupid. Where I feel like for you, you're overstimulated, but you're like, I need to get away from this person. And Spirit says you need to act decisively. And this person also needs to think before they react, because if they come towards you and they're not 100%, you're not gonna mince your words. There's gonna be a showdown because there already has been, because that's the way that you are. And that's why this person is like, well, either way, I'll come in and I have a 50-50 chance. Either you're going to let me in or I'm going to antagonize you and hopefully I'll fuck you up so you can't move on, but no one can stop you. So Spirit says, don't react with this person. Give them nothing because they think that they're so slick and they're not. That's why, again, everything plays out kind of to be like to teach you patience and to grow your faith and to just trust in the process. And for this person to see, they can never come back, and that really the life that they were running after, could have had it. It was underneath their nose the whole time. But again, they thought that they were going to manipulate, that they were going to force your hand, and what they did was they ruined their relationship. It backfired on them. Okay, we're seeing it again, the voice, the voice, the voice. That's all that we keep seeing. But the Spirit is saying the voice of the heart. Silence the fear in you and discover the voice of your heart. The fruit of these words guides you. Trust the song of your soul. Your intuition leads you on the path to light. So again, when we're listening to the voice of the heart, it's obviously not to run into a toxic relationship. It's it's to fulfill ourselves, what fulfills us. And you might be like, hey, that relationship, and Spirit says, no, you have to create yourself. You have to pour into yourself and become yourself. Where are you investing your time? What pulls you? Understand, we meet our tribe through that, becoming ourselves. You meet people along the way. And people come into our life and they show us different versions of ourselves, and they show us things that need to be healed. Well, I don't really like that aspect of myself. Or sometimes they put you in aspects where you're like, hey, I can vibe with this. I like the way that I view myself, right? So it's all to help you. It's all to make you into, again, the best version of yourself. Because this life is a school where you get the test first and the lesson later. All right, guys, I'm gonna leave that there. I missed you. Wasn't on Thursdays. Thursdays hectic day, all day working from get up at 5 and go to bed at around like 11:30, 12 o'clock. So just very hectic, but glad to be back on YouTube. I will be on later. I'm doing a live for you. All right, talk to you soon. Bye.